So welcome to the Wednesday Team Prosperity meeting. This is a meeting that we have weekly that centers around getting you guys the information that you need on a weekly basis to build the business, and the compounding factor of what we do in terms of education helps people get through the learning curve a lot quicker, which creates independence from your partners, which you guys are looking for. So this is May 5th, Cinco de Mayo. Our business is really to the point now that we've got so many things that have been built, tested, implemented, tried, that we are getting ready to have a explosive business opportunity in terms of people coming in, being able to immediately plug in and do what they need to do for immediate revenue, income recognition, building, recruiting, educating. Everything that we need is going to be in a point where we've got a wide audience, we've got lead magnets, we've got funnels, we've got lead programs, anything that you guys need. Last week on April the 28th, we talked about creating front-end lead magnets for marketing. It's very important. Easiest way to create a lead is to give away something for free, right? Running a successful online business, data over emotion when making business decisions. Money makes money. If it's not for us, it's for someone else, but it is making money. Building your business by mentoring others, huge part of what we do, paying it forward, and getting out of the cycle of accepting excuses either from yourself, from your business partners, or from your clients. When you look at the opportunity, guys, somebody comes in, that's point A. Point C is over at the end point. What do we want? What are our goals? What are our dreams? B is in the middle. What do I have to do to get from point A to point C in the most quickest, efficient way? It's the same thing we teach our clients. What do we need to do on the partner side? Same thing. So if we're writing our own script and we know where we came in and where we want to go, it's all about just filling in that middle part, which is the action, the education, the mentoring, coaching, client presentations to get us to where we actually want to go. Like I just mentioned, there is so much going on right now behind the scenes that there is a wave building. It's about to build up and crest over and crash. What that means for us is we have a huge opportunity. What that means for our competition is they're in a lot of trouble because we are putting ourselves to be on the forefront, not only the client side, the partner side, but everything that we do inside this whole entire model. Remember, digital disruption, we're not out there trying to prove that. It's already been proven. We came into building virtual financial services agencies in 2015. Virtual was something new. Pandemic has forced virtual on everybody. The thing that you can look back into recent history and see time and time and time again is that digital disruption is already happening, and that the winners win big and the losers lose big. So what we try to do is position ourselves accordingly with the right opportunity, the right tools, the right technology, the right ownership over that technology, and the wealth creation that comes along with that. Remember, the disruptor that comes in, even if we have technology, we're not going to revert back to old ways, because a disruptor, they change the environment forever. And that space is never the same again. And that money, that market share, it leaves traditional and it flows to digital. So what that means for us is that we can't continue to operate in the same mindset as before. And we have to expect and anticipate and ask for our partners and our clients to have a new mindset as well. Because even with smart technology, even with the new education mindset that we're trying to put in the marketplace, if we're going to go into the marketplace and do the same old thing that we used to do, doesn't matter what technology. Technology has to be coupled with a new mindset, a mindset of disruption, and a new way of thinking. It makes sense for us to look at the disruptors and understand and evaluate what they've done, because what it does, it creates a velocity to the model. I mean, you can look at Marriott, how many years, 88 years to build almost 700,000 rooms, took Airbnb 48 months to accumulate over 650,000 rooms in 192 countries. So understand the digital platform, smart technology, everything that we are pressing into the marketplace for our clients and our partners has huge advantages if we can do this correctly. We need to start by understanding why it is we're doing what we're doing, because when somebody asks about the business from the client or partner side, to give all that long financial jargon or not being clear, concise, and articulate about what we do, how we do it, but most importantly, why we do it, we're going to struggle, because people are going to buy into why you do what you do, why the company does what they do first. And once you got them to buy into the mission, it's easier to talk about what you do. 12-week year is an amazing opportunity to really check yourself, do a self-inventory, some self-reflection, understand the value of time, not just a day, but an actual minute. And it also gives you a huge competitive advantage. So if you can combine what we're doing on the company level and really dial in on a personal level and beat your competition, get more than they get done in a year, in a quarter, well, think about what you're able to accomplish over a 36 or 48-month time period. We will be running another one of these. I just had a little delay because of the things I have to do right now. The 12-week year is nothing more than a 90-day madman cycle. So it's important that you understand the basics of the 12-week year to understand, how to work it. But essentially, it's nothing more than getting the most you possibly can over a 90-day cycle. You got to take action at the speed of instruction. Unless you're aggressive, whatever talent you have or whatever talent you're bringing into the organization is going to be wasted. It's about massive action. And for a partner, climbing that hill, remember when you're a kid and you got a bike and you got this big long hill that you're climbing up, towards the top, it's pretty exhausting. Once you crest over that hill and go downhill, pick up speed, it's all good, the wind's hitting your face. Hardest part about this business is the initial traction. Once you get over that hump, it's a lot easier to go forward and put the pieces into place, because in the beginning, it's all on you. Unless you're gonna do what you need to do, there's nobody else coming in after you. Work it daily. Don't think it, yes, we have 3-year goals, we have some other goals that we're working on, but we have to have those metrics in place, to see what we're doing daily, weekly, monthly. And if we work it daily, we do what we need to do, we understand that success is nothing more than the sum of the small efforts repeated day in, day out, letting it compound over a period of time. In the beginning, this is so important. We can only concentrate on what we control. So when you come in and we have income goals, yes, we want some income goals, but we can't concentrate on that in the beginning. So what we have to concentrate on is what we control, which is our goals, what we want to see happen, and the activity that backs up those goals. If our goals in the short term, we first come in, are based on activity, based on the things we can control, the revenue and income will follow. If you come in with a hard mindset on revenue and income and not activities and goals, then you'll find that you're going to suffer in the learning curve some and get a little bit disgruntled. Our business is pretty repetitive in terms of what we're doing for the clients, what we're doing for the partners. And if you look at how people get rich, they specialize, guys. They don't do everything. They do one thing. They do it really well. Bruce Lee here says, I fear not the man who has practiced 10,000 kicks once, but I fear the man who has practiced one kick 10,000 times. Those presentations that we're doing, you nail that, you do it over and over and over again until you master it. You become an expert. And then what happens is the conversion rates inside that presentation start to tick up, which means back end outcomes and results like revenue and income do as well. It's a 1-2 combination punch. And this is all we're asking for in the beginning of the business, is to work on building, having the activity, opening the conversations, engaging with people, and on the backside, learning. Because some of the stuff you're doing manual on the front side can be automated. Some of the stuff that you're doing on the front side can be put into things like funnels. If you're willing to have the activity, and if you're willing and you're hungry to have that discipline with the activity, and you're also hungry to have the discipline in terms of education, the thirst for learning, you're going to do very, very well here. One of the things that came up this week, if you're trading off, so if you're opening a conversation and then you're having them come in to close that conversation, whether it's a partner interview, a client, secondary meeting, whatever it might be, if you're inviting somebody into the conversation, you need notes, because if I or whoever is helping you goes into that conversation with 0 notes, we're flying blind. And it's kind of odd because you've already made that connection on the front side. Now I'm forced to try to make that connection. Whereas if you would have provided me with notes, I can go in and I know exactly where to pick up, how to make that initial communication so that everybody's comfortable and we pick up where we left off. When you're looking at a business, guys, you are looking from a ground floor up, and you need to understand how to succeed. And one of those things is, the activity, the discipline, the accountability, but you need to be excited about your business, and you need to understand that excitement or lack of excitement is going to come out in your communication. So you need to understand that even though you might have done this presentation 100 times, you might have had this phone call 60 times, this is the first for the other side. You need to come in fresh, you need to come in excited, and you need to come in passionate. Success in our business comes from leverage and learning how to use it, whether that be leverage of leadership. Remember, a lot of people, for example, in financial services, they're not getting the leadership they're looking for. So that's why you see a high failure rate in that industry. We have a ton of leadership we can tap into, leveraging clients, partners, and professionals that we have around us, the products and providers, the technology and social media, and all the other tools that we implement. Leverage, when used correctly, is a huge part of what we do. Now, we're not getting over leverage, but we are leveraging up to the point where our business can provide a velocity and provide a better generational opportunity than the one that we walked into, which is very, very, very important. As an entrepreneur, you are the business. So yeah, we've got products, we've got services, we've got companies we plug into, but you are the business. As soon as you start understanding that, digesting that, and reverberating back into the marketplace as a business, it becomes easier to do what you need to do and think about how to build your business. First thing that you need to understand is, what does your business or product do? Most importantly, what does it solve? We're not talking about the front end of what it actually does, but the back end solution. That's what people want to know and understand. What does it do for me? Whether I'm talking to a partner or client, I'm coming up with solutions, either based on perceived problems or known problems from the conversation. I'm coming up with solutions that make sense to them, that allow them in their mind to make the connection for them to take that next action step. Also, as a business, you need to evaluate what's going on. What is the value of a lead? Well, if we're not producing many leads, unfortunately, we overvalue that lead. So we need to produce enough leads so that we don't get emotional about our leads. What's a client worth? What's a partner worth? What's a partner who actually is having activity worth? What's one of that core group and that first office that you built? What's that worth to you? And what's a partner worth that's actually out there creating distribution legs and setting up offices for you? All of this stuff you have to evaluate and not get tied up or too emotional about things that, when you evaluate it or reevaluate it, may not have the initial value that you thought. Another thing that we need to do when we're operating as a business, we've got to either build it one of two ways. Organic, that costs sweat equity. That's pounding the phone, that's drumming up, manufacturing the demand for what we do. Or you can have paid advertising. And if you're having paid advertising, you need to understand things like cost of acquisition of a client, return on investment, what a partner or what a client's actually worth to me. And so I can go back and, based on my marketing budget and based on what I spent and based on the outcome of that, is this making sense? Am I making money? If so, what am I making? Am I losing money? If so, what am I losing? Why? You need to pour fuel on the fire of things that are working and extinguish the things that aren't. Don't continue down a path if you're not making money. Now, you have to give an initial setup time to make sure that you give any one thing enough time, 30 days at least, to see really what's going on. But at the end of the day, you should have return on investment, and you should be able to make a determining factor based on data. If you don't know your numbers, you don't know your business. And if you don't know your business, it's going to be hard to sell that vision or sell that business to another partner, because they're going to want to know. And the better quality of the partner, sometimes the more in-depth those questions are. And that's very important that you can answer those, because if you can't, your ability to attract talent starts to diminish. Another thing, as a business, you have to realize you are a brand. Yes, we have a company brand, we have product brand, but you are a brand. So you have to have a focus. Who are you? What are you all about? Be genuine, not fake. People can, especially in online these days, people can read right or see right through fakeness. You got to be able to tell a story. Remember, facts tell, story sells. You got to tell a story that gets engagement. Be consistent. You got to be ready and willing to fail. Create a positive impact. Don't get online arguing about politics, religion. Create that positive impact. So when people see your face, your name, your post come up, they're attracted to it. They want to see what it is. Follow successful examples. And this goes on the other side too. If people are making it happen, mimic them. On the other hand, if you see all the other crap that people put out that gets no response, understand why and avoid that. You want to be in the small percentage of people who are making it happen. Live your brand, let other people help tell your story, and above all, guys, have fun. This is very, very important. You are the brand. People are going to be attracted to you, your why, your story first before they ever get introduced to what you do on the backside. One of the things that is a very easy way to start branding yourself is start with the basics, a Gmail signature. In my Gmail signature, they can have access to my Facebook business page, my LinkedIn page, my YouTube channel, it's additional information, anything they want to find out about me, my website, it's right there. You have to start looking at things as real estate. So when you're posting, when you're sending messages, get the most that you can out of your real estate. Once again, if I get an email from you and I can go in your signature and learn more about you, it builds that trust, rapport, credibility to the point I'm comfortable speaking with you now. Also, as a business and as a digital business, you're going to have to, do some things online to create a presence and influence people over time. There are two ways to attack content online. You either got to produce it or you got to engage with it. Now, ultimately, producing content is better, but especially in the beginning, engaging with content is something you can go on and immediately start doing. The $1.80 strategy by Gary Vee is a great strategy. It's a lot starting out because you're looking at 2 cents per comment. So you can ratchet that down. Maybe I want a 50-cent strategy or whatever it might be. But understand that over time, the build, engage, sell, if you leave out the engage and you try to build and sell, it's just simply not going to work, guys. If you're low on funds, if your partners come in and there's not a lot of money, then we want to build this organically and then take that money, like we talked about, to pay ourselves for the time investment and start to develop a marketing budget where we can go out, get lead generation, automation, all the things that are going to make this business easy. But you've got to approach social media strategically in the first place. But when you have limited resources, you need to be even more strategic. I was having a conversation with a partner on the phone today, explaining that if you have limited resources, your organic reach in Facebook really not going to be too much. Your organic reach in LinkedIn, if you produce good content, is going to be much more. Facebook is reach scale, LinkedIn is not reach scale. So understand that if I have money, don't have money, where do I put my time? Where do I put my energy and my resources? It's going to give me the most strategic effect online. Help your partners out. Just because we're in the same company and the same team doesn't mean that if I don't see your post, I'm not going to help you out. Now, if your post is terrible, I'm not going to engage with it. And I'll probably send you a message explaining why you're probably not getting engagement. But if you've done what you need to do, remember the old school dances where everybody was on opposite sides until somebody broke over finally. Same thing here. You want to give your partners some support. So if Alana posts something, I'll go in and comment something. Same thing with you guys. If it's on LinkedIn or Facebook and I see it, I'll try to encourage other people to engage with it as well. If you do that just by having a core group of partners, and you get a percentage of those engaging with your post, it looks like you're getting engagement, which you are, and it helps other people feel comfortable to engage with that. So help your organization by reinforcing the messages that they're trying to reach. And that's really what it comes down to. You have to understand what your market is. And we always talk about this. You cannot be everything to everyone. Hone in on a certain type of partner, hone in on a certain type of client, and then understand what that message is to that certain type of persona. Also, you need to understand when you're developing personas that everybody's in different parts of the life cycle. When you're talking to a baby boomer, you need to understand how they view the world and what problems they're probably dealing with right now. versus Gen X versus the millennials. So understand, yes, our message is going to be to a certain type of person, but when you're evaluating and breaking down that person, understand where they are in the life cycle, what generation they belong to, and a little bit about what that generation views the world as, and then a little bit about what that generation is facing. We've got breakdowns of baby boomers, Gen X, and millennials in the YouTube channel. Just look for that title. In the message, once you've got your persona and once you've got your message all about the delivery, once you nail the delivery, you should start having engagement. From that engagement, you should start being able to sell. Now, if you are coming in and manufacturing all this with outbound marketing, great. I'm very proud of you, but you don't want to do this forever. You want to develop things, and some of this stuff will cost a little bit of money, not too much, but overall, you want to develop inbound marketing where people have been introduced to what you're doing, who you are, what you're trying to accomplish, who you're looking to work with as a partner or client, and they're responding back to that, wanting some additional information or wanting to talk to you. It's a lot easier to talk to people who have interest in what you do, general interest at least, versus trying to manufacture that interest on outbound. However, in the beginning, you do it however you can. Statistics, every one of us is going to be a statistic. Every one of your partners, every one of your clients. The only question remains, what statistic will they be? Will they be in that small minority that's successful? Or will they be in that group, that herd, that for the most part is not successful? It's up to them, and their decisions that they make every day are going to pave the way to one of those sides. I'm not going to go through all this, guys, but it's important that you understand, because when you are talking the money game and you're talking to a bunch of people that don't understand the money game, don't understand the rules, never really taught how money works, you're going to ruffle some feathers and you're going to get some pushback. You're not going to be liked by everybody all the time. And if you have the need to be liked by everybody all the time, you're going to struggle in this business. Your job is to educate. Jim Cramer's Mad Money on CNBC. He's not here to make friends. He's here to help you make money. Same thing. We're here to help people carve out on the client side a new financial path that's going to get them actually to create a life they want, rather than just accepting the one that comes down the pipeline, versus, or on the other side, on the partner side, the business opportunity that creates, what's going on with that. So understand that no one really understands about money. And if you're talking about the forms of money and talking about how to make money, then there's three things that really people don't know. That's how to make it, how to save it, how to multiply it. Remember, money makes money. If we are not making money for ourselves, our money is making money for somebody else. So how do we make it? How do we save it? How do we multiply it? Now, number three is the most important one, but we can't do that till we've accomplished the other one. So when you're looking at people, they're either getting paid by salary, or they're getting paid by commission and bonuses, or they're getting paid from investment income. Most people in the salary W-2, that you need to understand their mentality. When you're working with those people in potential partner conversations, they want to stay in the salary position. Conversation stops there. You might be able to pivot over to the client side, but essentially you're only trying to fit people into where they fit. Commission and bonuses is where you have performance-based income. You get rewarded for above average production. People should want to be here who are talented people. And then we teach them to go from that quadrant, take that money down to income and investing. So it's a stair-step process of what we do to get them to the end point. Inflation is creeping in, guys. And if we are on fixed incomes, whether that's Social Security or we are on fixed salary, fixed hourly wages, guess what? Inflation eats up our purchasing power. The reason that we're going to have inflation is because the government, being as smart as they are, we have supply side shocks from the pandemic, where we had breaks in the supply chain. So we've got less goods out there right now at the same time where we have just the streets are awash with money. So you got less goods, more money chasing those less goods. It creates inflation. Look at commodity prices lately. You can see, what does that mean? That if I can't create more income, I got to manage my expenses better. I got to create a better cash flow opportunity for myself. And that's exactly what our business does for the clients. With interest, or with inflation creeping in, guess what has to rise to combat that? Interest rates, which means that if we are saving money, all of a sudden we have the ability to take on less risk. to get a decent interest rate. However, if we owe debts, then our debts get more expensive. New debts get more expensive. Some of our old debts that were on variable terms get more expensive, which means that that puts a downward pressure on our cash flow. People have to understand this ultra low interest rate environment that we came out of or coming out of, the ultra low inflation that we're coming out of, are getting ready to change in a big way. And if we're not prepared, if we don't prepare the client, then they're going to get run over. Our clients, you guys, everybody needs to understand there's 4 types of debt and assets. There's appreciating assets. That's me buying something right now, and at a point in time in the future, I'm going to sell it. And at that time, I'm hoping that's worth more than I paid for it. Cash flow asset. This is where we want to be. These are things that we own to pay us to hold them. So you can take a stock that's an appreciating asset and move it to a cash flow asset by buying a dividend paying stock. Consumption is what, American consumers are so good at, just buying stuff, consuming them. And then depreciating assets. So if we're out there on the 18% credit card and we bought a new TV 3 years ago and we're making the minimums, guess what? That TV is worthless now. It's basically garbage and we're still paying for it. So we have to understand, where did our money go? Where should it go? And how do we get our clients to understand how to come out on top? The process of what we do is important, and the process of understanding the cash flow quadrant and how we get to the right-hand side and how we do so in a business model that allows business ownership with little barriers to entry for us as the partners, and what that ultimately does. We were just talking about this, whether it's a client or a partner, no one really wants to hear something if it's not what they want to hear. And if you're to the point where you have the need that everyone likes you, or if everyone is liking you, you're not being real enough. We're trying to educate people on something they're ignorant about. You're going to get some pushback. Same thing on the partner side. You're trying to go into the marketplace with an incredible business opportunity. Not everybody's going to see it that way. So you have to learn how to defend yourself, but not spend your day arguing where it's going to bring you down. But you do need to point out when people are wrong. And for us, our partners and our clients, it's a real easy process of visualizing what we want. What's the why? What's the most motivating factor? What's the emotional attachment? What's going to get us moving? Because step 2 is the movement. We've got to take action. And then step 3 is just making it happen, which is allowing the action long enough to compound to get us to that end point. What do people want? Well, guys, they want what we want. They want more money as they get older. They want an easier lifestyle, but really people are looking at lifestyle freedom. Would somebody like lifestyle freedom? Well, I can't think of too many people that would say no to that. Would somebody want financial freedom? If they say no, they're probably lying to you. Would people want time freedom? This is the stuff they want on a real general perspective. You've got to come into the marketplace understanding what people want and understanding how to communicate with people to get engagement to allow one-on-one conversations. Your business is responsible at a core from you. I try to bring in 3 business partners and 3 clients every single month. Now, from that, I understand that I get base shop office growth of a 10 by 10 metric. 10 partners, 10 clients, that will grow me individual offices. But if I slack off and I don't provide 30% of that in my office, then I'm going to fall short of the metrics that I'm shooting for. And I'm not laying out that example that I want other people to follow. So remember, not only is it important for the build out, but it's important because people are looking at you for an example of what to do or maybe what not to do. We are always one partner away. Now, I know this is kind of a cliche statement, but it's very important that you understand, because in a business like this, where we're bringing in hopefully talented people that can run with this, you're only one person away from explosive growth, from a distribution leg. And what that means is you've got to learn to dictate the schedule and the communication from the top. Don't let people run the conversation on you. If you find that that's happening, it comes from you not being confident on the phone, because one of the 2 parties is going to run that conversation. If you're not the confident one to do it, the other side's going to take over. So you need to dictate the schedule, let them know, frame conversations, use the takeaway, and just get them through a pipeline, a process that you are dictating, that they're following through. If they can't follow along something that you set up from the very beginning, they're not going to be a good partner, guys. At the end of the day, when people come in, there's a lot of different questions that come from a lot of different standpoints, but really partners want to know, is this real? How can I do this? And who's going to help me? And really from the client side, it's a lot of the same questions. When we introduce technology, hey, is this real? You know, how can I do this? And who's going to help me? And then from our side, especially when we're interviewing partners, we want to know, you know, some things about what they've been doing professionally up to this point, what they understand about our business, our virtual business, the technological opportunity here. And then finally, you know, we've learned about their past. We've learned about what they understand about our business. What's the motivation for wanting to come in and get that done? And the two questions I always want to know is, what type of level of annual income are you accustomed to making? So I can get a good idea. And then the secondary question is, what level of annual income are you looking to make here? Things to keep in mind, and these are all advantages, guys. We can hire, train, support in all 50 states. We don't have territorial restrictions. We're not asking you to drive around, meet physically. You know, all of these things allow you to be more efficient with your day, save you money, save you stress. There's multiple roles. You want to be a marketer, you want to be a manager, you want to be an educator, consultant. You know, we've got roles. We're looking for top talent and management trainees to help with our nationwide expansion. So when you're thinking about, well, I'm out there recruiting, why am I recruiting? Well, that's the exact the answer. We're having a nationwide expansion. They're having a extreme demand for our products, and we need help. Help us spread financial education and literacy to those around the country, put them in a better, stronger financial position by teaching them how money works. Then from our standpoint, on our partner side, we get to build an incredible business that pays us extremely well and has a huge positive ripple effect on the people that we actually come across and influence. When you're talking to people, guys, you need to understand how we get paid, because this is important. Because when you start talking to a person and they start asking about contract spreads and overrides, that's a person with distribution mindset, with a broker mindset. If you can't answer those questions and you lose that person, then that's, you know, you're possibly losing somebody who could create 7 figures of distribution for you. These are the questions that brokers and distribution people ask. Understand how we get paid. Understand how to answer those questions. It's important. And then finally, on the partner side, guys, we're looking for partners and teammates. I don't need somebody to come in here and watch me work. That's not what I'm looking. I'm looking for people who are going to come in, follow our lead, and actually get down to the basics of doing what we need to do every single day. Champions show up. Our champions don't show up to get everything they want. They show up to give everything they have. Somebody understands what we're trying to do, can buy into our mission, and will give us the type of activity, passion, energy, intensity. We can help them build a very dynamic business. It's going to take some courage, though. We're going to make a big impact. We're going to need some courage. So if people are timid on the front end, you know, we're not looking for timid partners. We're looking for aggressive people who are going to go out there and make a difference in the financial landscape of this country. Also, for us, our partners, you got to pick up the phone, guys. If the phone is not picked up for a period of time, it's a really hard to pick that up. It'd be like going to the gym and throwing on all the weight and trying to do some bench presses or some curls or whatever it might be, versus going to the gym every day and working out. On our side, using that telephone every single day. It becomes easy, it becomes habit, or it'll become a habit not to do it. Either way, it's your choice. One builds your business, one destroys your business. The amount of conversation that we have should decrease. So if you're having a good conversation, you're asking those questions, 70% of that phone call should be the other side talking. If it's not, learn how to zip your lip, learn how to ask questions and write down the answers, because the questions that you're asking and the answers that you're given are going to put you in a position where now you understand exactly where to continue and direct that conversation based on what the other side is looking for. We have to dwell in solutions versus problems, because as an educator, as a manager, if we allow ourselves to dwell on the problem, our partners pick that up and they mimic that. Our clients pick that up and they mimic it. No matter how big the problem is, concentrate on solutions, not the problem. Learn how to focus on what will give the client, partner, or yourself the results. Your clients want from you confidence, commitments, and the ability to use the correct tools. We are planning for the best and preparing for the worst. Remember, procrastination creeps into all of us. It creeps into the other side as well. Let me think about it is actually them reverberating back to you. Let me stop thinking about this. Focus on being productive instead of busy. You know, posting a meme, doing an article, all these stuff are important for personal branding, influence, trust, rapport, credibility. But at the end of the day, you want income producing activities as a top tier. And then underneath that, the other stuff. If you get your income producing activities done and you fall a little bit short on the other stuff, no big deal. If you inverse that and you fall short on your income producing activities, then your business is going to be hurt from that. And then another thing that we need to do for ourselves and our partners and our clients is start taking that what if question and being positive. So not what if this blows up in your face, what if this doesn't work, but what if I create a business out of this that creates generational wealth? On the client side, what if I use this program and I'm able to create a lifestyle that I didn't think that was possible for me? So the what ifs are always going to be in our mind, but the what ifs need to start gravitating towards the positivities or the positives instead of the negatives that we can, sometimes our brain tricks us into thinking. Not going to be able to skip this process. Trust the process. You can't skip the steps. You got to be able to put the work in and let that compound over a period of time. You're also going to have to get out of your comfort zone. Somebody comes in as a partner, they're shy, this is new. They've got to realize that all the results, all the income, revenue, promotions, recognition comes from outside the comfort zone. There's a giant inside of us, needs to be woken up. Next week, we'll continue to just hit more and more and more things. We'll probably go into social media. We got a bunch of new partners coming in that have questions about social media. So we're going to LinkedIn, Facebook, how to organize yourself there organically, how to get engagement, everything you need to do to get what you want, extract value out of social media.